where it is in the schedule? Is it a good time to have a test?
It is. It's one of these games that's good for both teams. I think it's not. You're not in February, March where you're in do or die games. A lot of times where, must-win type games. This is a game where I think both teams you get national exposure. You get to learn a lot about your team. It's still a lot of time to improve on a lot of things. So I think both teams will come out of this game, win or lose, knowing some things they need to work on. So I think it does come at a good time for both teams.
Coach, we'll talk a little bit about your rotations and the play of Phil Forte.
Yeah, our rotations are pretty set. I don't know how much they're going to change throughout this season as well. It's pretty much where, probably stated is where they are. We're playing pretty much 9 guys, our starting 5, and then you've got 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores coming off the bench, Phil Forte, Kamari Murphy, Stevie Clark, and Leighton Hammonds. Then you've got, Sobchak and Gaskins can get in there if we need them, and then Christian Sager's another guy that I'm not hesitant at all to put in. You might see him in there a little bit. But Phil Forte's, hard work, pays off. I mean, period. I mean, that's what's great to see about how he's playing. Nobody works harder than he does. I've never been around a player ever that lives in the gym as much as Phil Forte. He stays in the gym and works on his own game. He's made shots. He's scored in a variety of ways. Everybody knows he can shoot the ball, but he's developed a nice little mid-range game. He's shot his free throws well. We're challenging him to get to the free throw line a little bit more than he has. But also he's been a recipient of some very good passing. That helps. Marcus has found him a lot. Stevie's found him a lot. So that's been fun to watch. We just hope he can continue to do it.
Because of the offensive threats that you do have, Travis, with Markel and Marcus and some others, is that going to allow Phil to continue to get good open shots?
Oh, I think so. That when you have other players that draw so much attention, Marcus draws a lot of attention, Markel draws a lot of attention, LeBron draws a lot of attention, especially the position he's playing. A lot of times there's a mismatch, and so other teams have to help off on LeBron a lot. It opens up things for Phil Forte quite a bit. So that helps him create a little bit of space for him to get a shot off at times.
Through these first few games, what are some areas that you've noticed that you want to see the most improvement out of?
On the ball defense has got to improve. It better improve very quickly, very quickly. We've got to do a better job keeping our man in front of us. Early we were fouling a little too much. I think we've done, to be honest with you, an astounding job the last 2 games. I think we held Utah to 8 or 9 free throws, and then we held Pine Bluff to 11 or so free throws. I think I made the comment after the Utah thing, I don't think we'd do that again all year long. We turn around the next game and do it, but again, it's going to be a little bit tougher. We got to keep, and I think every coach is saying this, keep your opponent off the free throw line as much as possible. And it kind of starts on the basketball. And then consistency rebounding. We've rebounded the ball, the numbers are a little, skewed a little bit because of the opponents a little bit, but we've got to rebound the ball consistently and have that presence inside. Not just about rebounding, just have that physical presence inside, rebounding, blocking out, low post defense, blocking shots, scoring some paint points, things like that. Just a physical presence in the paint is something we've been challenging our guys for a long time, to have, and I think that's something our team needs, and we got to continue to develop that and build on that.
Have you gotten used to the new rules? Do you feel like the guys have a little bit?
Yeah, I think we have a better understanding of the rules. I don't know how much we're used to them. We've taken the approach, not worry about it, to be honest with you, forget about it. Play defense the way we always play it, get after it. You can adjust a little bit, but I found after the first exhibition games, we were thinking about it too much and we weren't playing any defense. So after the first one, we said, let's forget about it. Let's get back to being aggressive the way we normally are, learn to adjust as we go along. And, again, it's been a little bit skewed because we've been a little bit better athletes than the teams we've been playing. And now the athletic side to be even.
A lot of the national analysts say that the Memphis backcourt and your backcourt are among the best in the country. Mm-hmm. Sounds like a great matchup.
Oh, it is. It's a great matchup. If you look at it, it is. It's teams' strengths are very similar. Both have relatively deep teams. Their depth is a little bit more experienced than ours. all the magazines do have them ranked #1 backcourt in the country, deservingly so, and because they're 4 seniors, very, very talented, 1 fifth-year senior, but an extremely talented backcourt, very unselfish backcourt. What I've been impressed with Memphis is how hard they play. They play very hard. They have fun playing the game. They're very deep, very talented, and very experienced. But teams are very similar when you start talking about backcourts and guards, and they're probably a little more physical than us up front. They're big. They're really big up front. But, yeah, good matchup. It's a pretty good matchup.
With these two athletic teams, how do you see the tempo playing out?
Well, it's going to be fast. I mean, I told our team, and my team knows I pump up every team, and I tend to exaggerate at times, but I said, I told our team, you remind me throughout the season if there's a faster team than Memphis, but this will be probably the fastest team we will play, and maybe the fastest team in America. We've thought about it. They are as fast from end to end as I've seen in a very long time. They get that ball and they go that way, either advance passing, dribbling it, whatever it may be, made shot, missed shot. They are extremely fast from all positions.
Where do you put your team on the fast scale?
We're pretty fast. I would say we're up there. I'd say we're definitely up there. Their 1s and 2s are a little bit smaller. Ours are 1s and 2s are a little bit bigger. Our point guard's 6'4", and 2 guards 6'4". They're a little bit smaller, but both has their advantages. Both sides have their advantages. When you look out there and you see Joe Jackson and Dixon, there's no 2 quicker guards in the country. Nowhere. And you talk about quickness, talent, experience. I mean, there's not a more experienced backcourt in the country. You talk about Joe Jackson, who has started pretty much from day one, been player of the year in the league and all that stuff, and then Dixon's a 5th-year senior, and he's played on #1 teams in America, #2 teams. These are the backcourt at Memphis is the most experienced backcourt in the country, and very, very talented. Those 2 guards have been through a lot of big moments and played in big games before. Ours have too. But we're fast. I mean, when you look at our front line, Cobbins would be considered a versatile 5-man. LeBron is fast when he wants to be. Murphy can run. But yeah, well, I'd say we're pretty fast from all 5 positions as well.
The rankings, the pace of the play, and all that should be a pretty easy sell for your guys.
It should be. I don't think you're going to have to motivate either team too difficult. I think both teams are excited to play the game. I think it's an exciting game for the fans this time of year to get excited about college basketball. And again, we're excited about just, it's fun to go into a game and, you're playing against a high-level opponent in November. But you want to win the game, no doubt. That's the ultimate goal, but also we'll learn a lot about our team. We've got a big stretch coming up, a really big, tough stretch coming up. And, Memphis is a team that I believe that when it comes March, they can make a Final Four. With their talent, with their depth, and their experience, they're a Final Four type team.
Travis, talk a little bit about your scheduling philosophy, and would you like to bring in teams like Memphis every year to
Oh, you would
Stillwater?
love to. It's not realistic to think that you would always like to. This game came about really because of the Old Spice tournament next week. We got this kind of late. You get 3 games in the exempt tournament, Old Spice, but you're allowed 4. So you're allowed to schedule anyone within that tournament. If you schedule one of those teams in that tournament outside of Orlando, then it doesn't count on your schedule as far as the number of games you can play. So that's how this game came about for both of us, and we've got to return the game next year. But every year we're trying to get teams in here. We had Gonzaga in here last year, and I think we got Virginia Tech in here maybe the year before. Some good teams, but it's not easy. It is not an easy thing to do. It helps when it's nationally televised because everybody likes to play on TV. But when it's early in the season, I think you're seeing teams. I think you're seeing a little bit coaches, including myself, not afraid to play early games because it's not going to hurt us either way. Either team, no matter, it's not going to hurt either team. It's only going to help you, I think, down the road to really understand, what you need to get better at. And you're not in a position right now where You know, it's must-win games, so it's good. I think you're seeing a lot of coaches take the approach, hey, let's play some good games early, kind of get a feel. It's not, not gonna, it's not gonna hurt you a whole lot. Either way, it's only gonna help you.
Why is it so difficult compared to, say, these neutral site games and neutral site tournaments? You see all kinds of great matchups. You don't see a lot on college campuses.
Yeah, but it's for a lot of reasons. First reason is no one wants to leave home. First of all, you've got the financial factor of playing at home. Some teams are bringing in so much money at home, they just, they don't want to leave home. Also, especially BCS leagues, you get such a tough conference schedule that nowadays everybody's just trying to figure out what's your schedule going to look like? How many home games can we play? How many easy games can we play before we get to conference and still know that we're okay? And a lot of that boils down to is, hey, we're not going to Stillwater, Oklahoma. We're not going if we don't have to. So I think that has a little bit to do with it as far as teams just wanting to play home games. And then, we have a decent reputation, have a pretty good home record. That's not easy to get people to want to come in here a lot of times. But I think you're seeing it open up a little bit more. I do think you're seeing it open up a little bit more. Than you have in the past. And I think the opportunity to play on TV has a lot to do with that.
Coach, should there be additional bonuses to the RPI, or should the selection committee award bonuses for teams that will be more aggressive and play on the road? Do you think that would help a coach if you thought the selection committee would take that more into account, or no?
I think they would. I think it would help coaches. I don't know if that's the right. I don't know if I would want that. Because I have a whole different approach when it comes to Selection Sunday anyway. I think there's got to be an eye test at some point, or somebody looks at a team and says, forget who they've played, or are they capable of playing in this round of 64? So that's a whole nother conversation probably for early March. But I think it would if the committee came out and said, all right, we're going to reward you so many extra points per RPI if that's the formula they're using. If you go on the road. But then you got to figure out, go on the road, where are you going to go? I mean, are you going to reward somebody for going someplace that's not quite as tough as maybe Gallagher or Memphis or Kentucky or Duke or Kansas? You got to look at that. So I think you open up a whole nother deal. But I think, again, I think it's opening up a little bit more. I think it's opening up a little bit more. We started which helps, we started the Big 12 SEC Challenge, that requires you to go to certain places that you may not go. But there's things being done in our game, within the leagues, to try to get more of these, as I said, more of these early good games. And you're seeing it now. Some of those have been on neutral sites, but there's still games that I don't think you've normally seen in the past. Some of these big games.
Anything else for Coach? I guess, Travis, my question goes back to that neutral site stuff. Seems like it's easy. People play neutral site games easy. But I don't know why Butler, OSU, Memphis, Purdue, in other words, instead of going to Orlando and playing, I don't know why you couldn't get together and play home and home amongst yourselves. I mean, I guess I don't see the allure other than maybe the screwy rule of exempt tournaments and that.
Well, that's where it comes into, where you get to take your kids' opportunity to go to, not that we'll be riding any rides in Disney World or anything, but get an opportunity to take them to different areas. We've taken them to Las Vegas, we've been to Puerto Rico, been to some pretty neat places. I think that is a little bit of the lure of it. You get to put everybody in one venue and play a tournament type atmosphere, rather than playing, I guess, a round robin home games. If you did that, who gets to play at home, and then that then you start arguing over that, who gets the home game. But I don't think the exempt tournaments are only going to continue to get bigger and bigger. That's not going to change. You see more and more of those popping up. Bahamas has one now, a couple in Hawaii, Orlando, Anaheim, Puerto Rico. You go on down the line, they just keep popping up everywhere. So I don't think that aspect's going to change a whole lot.
And I guess I'd ask the ball player, hey, is it cooler to go to Orlando, Florida, or is it cooler to go play in Hinkle Fieldhouse? I mean, that to me would be a legitimate question.